Well. Jerry is out there, got Cowboy fans all in their feelings. Jerry Jones said, Cowboys has made a trade. Oh, I don't know who. We're not going to know until tomorrow, so that's not what we're going to talk about. But what we are going to talk about is Jon Gruden is going to give us the ultimate breakdown before the Dallas Cowboys game. So we're going to use this to lead us all the way into the Cowboys. Let's talk Cowboys. We're about to talk facts. Yep, let's go. It is nothing like Monday Night Football with the Dallas Cowboys. Man, let me tell you something. Jerry is milking this for everything he can. ESPN in Dallas, must-win Monday night game. Jerry Jones, Stephen A. Smith. It is crazy right now. Crazy right now. Welcome, Cowboy fans and Cowboy haters alike. I'm the G, and I'm the host of Let's Talk Cowboys, where we talk facts. And if you like this video, don't forget, as you come into this live stream, please hit that like, share, subscribe, notification bell so you know the next time we post another video or go live, and we are live. And if you haven't become a channel member subscriber yet, please do. Got a lot of things coming up this season. Let's talk facts. Man, Jerry Jones is all the talk. Now, for me, I'm nowhere near where a lot of people are with this. I've been saying that Jerry Jones is going to do something. People just love hating on Jerry Jones. They get a kick out of it. They get clicks off of it. I've been saying this. The Joneses have already had this planned. They're going to go out there. I will not be surprised if they get about 2 to 3 players. My thing is, who is the major player? Because the Cowboys need a major player. I can see the Cowboys. Trey Hendrickson name has been out there quite a bit. I'm hoping the Cowboys make a big swing for Max Crosby. We saw what Max Crosby posted on X the other day, got everybody in their feelings. I hope they don't overpay for Trey Hendrickson. I'm not giving up no first-round draft picks for Trey Hendrickson. Second round at the most. I think they're talking about, people are thinking about maybe the kid from the Jets, the Titans, and Minkah Fitzpatrick. I think that's where a lot of people are leaning, but you know what? I'm not even going to speculate today. If Jerry said he going to announce it tomorrow, I'm going to wait until tomorrow. I ain't even dedicating a big part of the show to it. But let's talk about what the show going to be about today. We're keeping it real simple because the Cowboys will be playing in less than 3 hours. So, we're going to get this Cowboys trade news about 3 to 4 minutes tops, and we're going to be done with it. But I do want you to hear an interview today that Dak Prescott did with ESPN. And then we're going to spend the rest of the show listening to Jon Gruden break down the Cowboys Arizona, and we'll analyze it in between. So that's the show for today. Cowboys trade news, Dak Prescott interview, Jon Gruden breaks down Cardinals versus the Cowboys. Let's go. Let's get it. Yep, let's go. All right, let's get a quick roll call in, because I'm telling y'all, man, the show is going to fly by today. It is absolutely going to fly by. Once we get to Jon Gruden, I'm telling you, we're going to listen to that. It's going to be time for the Cowboys game to start. So again, I'm going to take you all the way to the Cowboys game. And who better to do that with than Jon Gruden? Y'all know he know football. Let's go. Let's get this roll call in. Gary Thorcell, what's going on? It's time to talk Cowboys. Big Mouse Dog, happy birthday. What's going on? My man, Dominique Pittman in this thing, the regular. What's going on, Dominique? Good to see you up in here. Renan Zaguini, what's going on? Lord Nova, 85. Man, I'm going to tell you, I have no clue. I'm just trying to get this W tonight for sure. What's going on? Angela Brewer, what's going on? The regular, Lock, indeed. What's going on with you? Good to see you. Robert Dudley up in this thing. He said, hit that like button. Let's see what the Cowboys cooking. We're going to see tomorrow. I'm excited. Terry Tatum, it's time to talk facts. John Henry up in this thing. My sister Nisi, good to see you back in the chat. Hey, Nisi, I'm ready for some football. It's no better. On a Monday night, the Cowboys got the platform to themselves. Yes, let's go. My man, my right-hand man, Daniel Lynn, what up with you? Jerry said he not only made a trade, Jerry said he got 2 more he working on. I'm telling you, all I'm concerned about is that what's the major trade he got going on? Ty Howard, what's going on? John Jones said, what up, G Money? I said it's in New Jack City. Azteca Aguilar, what up? The real estate vet. What's going on? How you living, man? I'm living good, man. God be the glory. What is going on? Mr. 72 Chevelle, let's go. Jerome Bowser up in this thing. 5 points of the star. Let's go. JCT Slice. He said we can't take this game for granted. JCT Slice. We gotta have it. JCT Slice, matter of fact, we're gonna break away from what we said we were gonna. And matter of fact, we'll just do it in the first segment. Let's look at the case with the NFC East. He says we still have 4, and he's gonna bounce back and destroy the Arizona Cardinals. Look for 300+ yards. Yep, and they've also brought up Malik Davis. I am expecting the run game to be fluent tonight. Look, Queen in the crib. What's going on, Queen? Good to see you. Sub-Zero, what's going on? Alicia, Henry, in this thing, what's going on? Yeah, I'm gonna take you all the way to game time. True Texan, howdy, what's going on with you? Let's go. Chris Dunaway in this thing. What up, Chris? Good to see you. Pure Gaming, what up with you? Bobby in this thing. What up, Bobby? RT Holman, Jay, TX Made, what's going on with you? Yeah, Jerry got something up his sleeve. And you know we going into a bye week, so Jerry's got to captivate the NFL at least for a whole nother week. So, yeah, he got something up his sleeve. What's going on, Tawan Johnson? Jakira, what's going on? A-Crown, what's going on? Good to see you. Tatiana back in here. What up, Tatiana? Mike 3 in this thing. Shenard, what up? All right, let's get this thing cooking. Steve Campanella, Star Guardian X. I see you. I'm going to come back to that super chat in a moment. Catlin, James Bowie, what's going on? Good to see you. Keith Shepard, Raymond, Juice Mine in this thing. Like and D, I'm not going to be surprised if we get Trey Hendrickson. I just hope we don't overpay for Trey Hendrickson. That is my biggest concern. I think Minkah Fitzpatrick is going to be a huge. If the Cowboys pull off Minkah Fitzpatrick, that is a huge one. I mean, Minkah Fitzpatrick, he automatically helps you show up the back end. Minkah will be big if the Cowboys bring in Minkah Fitzpatrick. And I do think they're going to try to bring in a linebacker because the reason why this Matt Eberflus defense, let's be honest, the reason why the Matt Eberflus defense is not working, it's 3 main reasons, and one of them is primary. One, the defensive line play. Not only does it need a very good edge rusher, which I do think those are developing, so I'm not as concerned about that. But the real big disappointment in this defense has been the 3-tech. Brian Schottenheimer's, Matt Eberflus's defense are heavily dependent upon 3-techs. Well, also Digizua has not been dominating. He's been anything but dominant. And then on top of that, the defense then in the second layer is the linebacker core. Fred Murray Jr. has been terrible. The Cowboys need another linebacker to go along with DeMarion Overshown. Murray's been terrible. It also requires good defensive back play. We haven't been solidified at corner yet. The run blend was solidified, but the other one we're not. And then the safety play has been just horrendous. But Minkah Fitzpatrick would really help the Cowboys. Minkah Fitzpatrick would really, really help the Cowboys. And so I guess we're kind of talking about trade news. So really would help the Cowboys. So we're going to see what they do. I have no clue. Let me see here. Mr. 72, let me see what he said. AOC said the same G made one trade and working on two more. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is at this point. So, I'm patient simply because we have a game tonight. I'm not tripping. We got a game tonight. We got to get this win first. We have a game tonight. And so the Cowboys, like I said, they've made a trade. Now, I don't know. And again, who knows what it could be? Some people, we're looking at players who didn't play. And so Trey Hendrickson didn't play. But the rumor is that the Bengals, or the Bengals as I call them, the Bengals are wanting a first-round draft pick. I'm hoping the Cowboys don't give up a first-round draft pick for Trey Hendrickson. Don't give that up. And, of course, a lot of people, just kind of looking over here on X, been kind of keeping up with that all day. Of course, a lot of people, people got this kid on their radar. So, he's another defensive tackle, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll just kind of see how that shake down. I'm not sure the Cowboys would be dealing with who knows? You know what? I can't even speculate. All I can tell you is I'm not surprised. I've been saying the whole time Jerry was going to do something at the trade deadline. And all the people, they get themselves worked up in a frenzy talking about what the Cowboys are not going to do. And then they get themselves worked up in a frenzy because of what the Cowboys are going to do. Then when the Cowboys do something, what they did ain't good enough. I ain't working myself up. First things first. We got to win this game tonight. We have to win this game tonight. And let me show you something that I'm working on this. I haven't got a chance to get it totally completed, but I'm going to just go to the NFL for what I want to go to right now. But, man, let me tell you what made me furious yesterday. A lot of people are saying that the NFL is the NFC is wide open. Nah, the NFC ain't wide open the way we're saying. The NFC is not wide open the way we're saying. The NFC is closing if we're not careful. The NFC is closing if we're not careful. And so the Cowboys can't lose any more games. What's going on, Free Energy? Free Energy said, let's go Arizona. We're going to see tonight. Arizona, y'all been hurting bad, man. Y'all been hurting bad over in Arizona. 2-5 right now. Now, if we were on the road, Free Energy, y'all might have a chance. In Dallas, man, we putting out 40 pounds, man. I don't think that's in y'all. I don't think it's in the Arizona Cardinals to score 40 points. I don't think it's in there. I don't think it's in them. The Arizona Cardinals' only chance tonight is to keep the Cowboys 27 or below. It's the only chance. Because if you don't hold the Cowboys at 27, once they get past 27, 30 more. I mean, they going for 40. Yeah, I didn't say 40. I said 40. They going 40 on you at home. They scored 40 every single time. 40, 40, and 44. Ain't no chance. What up, Jason Lewis? Cujo in the house. What's going on? The 903. What up, Rose? Keith Shepard. Brandy said, hey, loves, what's going on? Poopy D in this thing. Devin Mills up in here. What's going on with you? Davion Wallace, good to see you. This is the playoff picture. And people keep saying it's wide open. Nah, it ain't wide open. Nah, it ain't wide open. It's wide open to teams that are winning. The Cowboys have got to start winning because the doggone Bears and Panthers did something we didn't think they were going to do yesterday. They won. How do the Cincinnati Bengals blow that game against the Bears? Come on, Bengals. The Bears win. They're 5-3. See, the Cowboys made a mistake losing to the Bears and the Panthers. They should have got one of these two games. They lost both of these games. And so now both of these teams, the only hope the Cowboys have is finishing with the same amount of wins as the Bears and the Panthers. So tonight we have to win so that we can get that 4-4-1 record. Because the doggone Bears are 5-3, and who would have thought the Panthers would be 5-4? And if I'm not mistaken, Rico Dowdle has been the best back in the league the last 4 weeks. Rico Dowdle, the reason why Rico Dowdle isn't with the Cowboys anymore, I believe, Mike McCarthy used him totally wrong. And because he used him wrong, and the Cowboys didn't want to pay Rico Dowdle, the Cowboys decided to let Rico Dowdle go and bring in Javonte Williams. But I'm starting to wonder again, man, had we kept Rico Dowdle, we might even be better. Boy, Rico been running his butt off. Star Guardian X, appreciate that $2 super chat. Star Guardian X, I'm holding out hope for Max Crosby too. That's exactly what I'm holding out hope for. I think he is the best of all the players the Cowboys can get. I think it's Max Crosby. Max Crosby makes everything else fall together. Roger, appreciate that $99 super chat. He said, what up, Cowboy Nation? Prediction, 24-31. Yeah, we scoring more than that, I believe, Rod. We going off on them boys tonight. Free energy, we going off tonight. I don't think y'all can hold us below 40. Y'all gonna try, but I don't think you can do it. Gwen Bowden, what's going on? Freddie Morales, what's going on? We don't know yet. But I'm just wondering how big it is because people can't hold water. I'm shocked it hasn't leaked yet. I am shocked this hasn't leaked yet. But it's still up in the air. Crosby, Bengals. We'll see what happens tomorrow. But the Cowboys got to win this game to make those picks relevant or those trades relevant to help us to continue on the road to the playoffs. Because right now the Cowboys are 3-4-1. If they get the 4-4-1, they step back into the 10th spot, and they're going to still be a half a game behind the Panthers. That tie is either going to help the Cowboys or it's going to hurt the Cowboys. But right now they are half a game behind the Panthers. Half a game behind the Panthers and a half a game and really a whole game behind the Bears because the Bears are 5-3. So the Cowboys, man, they got to win tonight. And I believe they will. I mean, they have been just stunning at home. Stellar at home. And so the reason why I say the NFC isn't as wide open as people think is because when you look at the upper teams, the Eagles only have 2 losses. The Buccaneers only have 2 losses. The Seahawks are looking really good and they only have 2 losses. The Packers, they only have 2 losses. I talked about them in the video yesterday. The Packers, I don't care what anyone says, they are overrated. Overrated, and the Michael Parsons trade is overhyped. The Michael Parsons, whether people understand it or face it, he's doing some of the same things he did with the Dallas Cowboys. He has these great games against these terrible teams like the Arizona Cardinals. He had a three sack game. He came back this last game. It was the worst game of his career against the Carolina Panthers. Carolina Panthers are probably better than most people thought. But last year at this time, the Green Bay Packers were in a more of a commanding lead as far as what they were doing. They were 6-2. They were 6-2 at this time last year, and they definitely were not getting beat by teams that the Green Bay Packers have gotten beat by. The Browns, the Panthers at home, and let the Cowboys put up 40? Tell me anything you want to. I don't think the Packers are better at this point in time with Micah Parsons. I don't think they're better. They are at the number 4 seed. We'll see what the Rams do. And I'm going to go back and start looking at all of these team schedules. 49ers are 6-3. So I'm just telling us at this point, the Cowboys, they just have to keep winning. There is so much parity going on right now. They just have to keep winning. Now, the true road for the Cowboys to get to the playoffs is for the Eagles to fall. But, of course, we know, a lot of people are talking about the Eagles and the trades they made. I don't think any of those trades are significant other than Jalen Phillips. I think it's his name, Phillips. Shoot, Jair Alexander was getting his socks burned off. He didn't want to hear nothing about no Jair Alexander. I'm so glad the Cowboys didn't get him. I don't know what to do. And I don't even know how much he helps them. Phillips helps them, but, you get these people, and they want to criticize us for everything that we do and we don't do, and they're talking about the Eagles trying to win. Man, you know what? We don't need to be doing anything just to do something. Cowboys don't need to be trying to appease the fan base, the media, and the content creators. Man, go out there and get some impact players. Some players that can help you this year and some players that will be a part of the plan for the next 2 years. Man, we ain't got time for no one-year rentals. We ain't got time to be trying to do something just to do something. No, let's do something that matters. This is why I'm not really tripping on who the Cowboys... I just want to see. I can't even speculate. So I just want to see who they get and see if there's somebody that can help the Cowboys. That's all I want to see. So the Cowboys' true road is the Eagles. It is finding a way to win the division. That's the true road the Cowboys need to be on. So right now, they're about a game and a half behind the Eagles. The Eagles got a couple of tough games coming up, and then they'll be playing the Cowboys. The Cowboys are going to beat the Eagles in Dallas. Book it. The Cowboys are going to beat the Eagles in Dallas. So what the Cowboys have got to try to do is try to find a way to be at least a game behind the Eagles. And we're going to need some help from some other teams. We need to be a game behind the Eagles by the time we play the Eagles. So that when we beat the Eagles, then we'll get first place in the NFC East. And it's not out of the realm of possibility. First things first. The Cowboys got to make sure they get on a winning streak, and they got to stop this Jekyll and Hyde nonsense. Win a game, lose a game, win a game, lose a game, tie a game. No, and of course, I know we ain't going to do no more ties. Surely we're not going to do that. But we got to get on a win streak. This game, the Raiders, the Eagles, and I think we can get the Chiefs. The Chiefs ain't looking nothing like them Chiefs that won them Super Bowls. We can get the Chiefs. We just got to have the defensive improvements that we need. And I'm sure Jerry is going all defense. So we just need these defensive improvements to work out for us. Big Rombowski, Monday Night Football pregame, cold brew in the G. Yes, sir. Big Rombowski, I had to go out and get doggone Disney. I said I'd never give my money to Disney. I had to go out and give my money to Disney so that I could watch the doggone game. Then I'm going to cancel it tonight. I bet you Disney going to make so much money from people getting that membership tonight for tonight, and then they're going to cancel it. But the amount of money they're going to make is going to be ludicrous. and then they're gonna probably settle what they gotta settle with YouTube. It's all just a money grab. True Texan, he says, would not surprise me if Jerry Jones does not have our new Cowboy at the game tonight to make a splash. Just saying it is prime time, the way to do it. Hey, True Texan. If we win tonight, Jerry might do it after the game. He might do it after the game, True Texan. We're going to see. Star Gordon said, just hope it isn't 3 players we barely know. Yes, sir. Appreciate that $2 super chat. No, I think it's going to be players that we know. True Texan, he said, not saying said player would suit up. Well, I can tell you this. A lot of people were speculating that when Jerry said he's already made a trade, some people were speculating that he was kind of playing games and talking about Michael Parsons, but he said, nah. He said, nah. He said, no, it's a player. Poby D, man, let me tell you something. We better get 3 sacks tonight. Poby D, I'm concerned, though. I'm concerned. Jacoby Brissett presents his own set of problems if he's the starter for the whole night. He presents his own set of problems. He plays quarterback at this point, to me, better than Kyler Murray. So, boy, we're going to see tonight. All right, let's get on. Let's move on tonight. Let's move on to this thing about Dak Prescott, and then we're going to get into the thing with Jon Gruden. I want to make sure we are able to give Jon Gruden quite a bit of our time today because, man, this breakdown with Jon Gruden, they're always exciting. So I like to hear somebody like him definitely break down football. Yeah. Keith Shepard said win the division. Facts. Yeah, that's really got to be our goal, Keith Shepard, because I think the road through the wild card, it's going to come down to the wire. We got to find a way to get that doggone, through hook or crook, man. We got to find a way to win this division. We do. Mr. Range Rover, what up with you? He said, I think the Vikings and 49ers are going to help us out even though they won't make it to the playoffs. Man, let me tell you something. The parity in this league has been so crazy. Man, I'm going to tell you, you don't never know who's going to win or lose every week. This is why the Cowboys got to walk very carefully, man. They got to walk very carefully. And they got to go one game at a time, and they have got to win this game. They have got to win this game tonight. JL Channel, he said, this defense is puzzling. At what point does it come to pro ball players just playing football? Stop all the excuses about the scheme. Be a pro and play. Jay, and you know what's crazy? Jay, you make a very powerful point. And there are people giving them the out that the scheme is bad, as if that means they have an excuse to take poor angles, not tackle, not give effort. Nah, that's no excuse. I am with you, my brother. Star Guardian X, he said, think one trade could be Chubb. Yeah, could be. But I'm going to tell you this, JL. I'm going to tell you this, and some people might not like what I'm about to say, but I believe it is the cold, hard facts. Because the evidence is pointing toward it. Y'all do know that if the Cowboys go all defense in this whole trade scenario, y'all do know this means they're absolutely rolling with Matt Eberflus, not only for the rest of the season, they're going to roll with Matt Eberflus next season. I just want us to get that in our mind. What they're doing now is for Matt Eberflus. And I'm telling you, I am not going to be surprised. It's Crosby or Hendrickson, a linebacker, a D tackle for me is, you just create another problem down the road. But maybe they would do a D tackle. But a linebacker, I believe, is what they're going to get. I believe for sure they're going to try to go out there and get a very good linebacker. I think that's what they're going to do. Poobie D, let me tell you, you said we let the Eagles get Phillips. Man, I think if the Eagles got Phillips, that tells me the Cowboys might have got who they wanted. Poobie D, I am not ruling out Max Crosby. I'm just not ruling out Max Crosby. I'm not ruling him out. I'm not ruling out Max Crosby. I'm not ruling out Trey Hendrickson. But again, I think the Cowboys, Jerry said they're working on 1 and 2 more. I think they might do 3. But I'm telling y'all, you need to understand, this is a Matt Eberflus move. Let me tell you, because I said this before, not one player could fix this team, but multiple players, this defense, but multiple players could absolutely help this defense. You get back to Mario and Overshown, Savon Revel Jr., and then you bring in 3 other players on each level. A lineman, a linebacker, and a defensive back. Could absolutely help this team. Could absolutely turn this defense around. Jerry's already said that player that they're getting is suiting up for the next game. They're suiting up. JCT, he said, Raiders said that Max Crosby's off the table. JCT Slice, all I'm going to take that as is that the Raiders are saying that if you want Max Crosby, you ain't coming with no second or first round draft pick. You're coming with multiple draft picks and players. The Raiders are going nowhere fast. Pete Carroll signed a 2-year deal with a 1-year option. I don't think he'll make it 1 year. I don't think he'll make it 1 year. Yeah, I think they want Max because Max is one of these dudes, man. He's just so versatile in so many different ways. I think that's who they're looking at. Yeah, you said who you talking about? Max Crosby looked worse than Michael yesterday. Yeah, but you know what? I just wonder if Crosby kind of knew that either he was on his way out. I mean, I'm just wondering. I'm seriously wondering, man. This is why I can't speculate. I'm just excited about them getting somebody tomorrow. And again, I can't believe it hasn't leaked. I'm serious. I mean, but I'm going to give the Cowboys front office credit. I was talking, I was going to post this today on X, but I'm just getting to the point I don't even post on people's posts anymore. But 105.3 The Fan alluded to this. Jerry has been lying to the local media. Jerry doesn't want the local media to know hardly anything. He hasn't been leaking anything to them. Anything. So they are about in the dark as much as we are. Man, the local media don't know nothing anymore. I think that's why some of them, they be a little bit bent out of shape about content creators. But they don't know hardly anything no more. Jerry and these guys have been just dead silent on him. Stargarden next, he said, think one trade could be Chubb. Yeah, I know a lot of people been pointing to that thing with Chubb. Again, Sub-Zero, appreciate that super chat. You and Stargarden. Sub-Zero said if things go the way Jerry wants and he sticks with Flus, I think the Cowboys will get heavily rewarded for staying the course. Sub-Zero, I think we have to really look at what you're saying and just think about, why do the Cowboys want to continue to do the same thing over and over and get a different result? If the Cowboys go with somebody else, it's the same problem. If they go with someone else, it's the same problem. You're going to have a 4th defensive coordinator, and you're still going to have some of these players. I mean, and then if you get rid of some of them, you're going to have to bring in new players. You're going to have to install a brand new system. I think they like Matt Eberflus, and I think they're going to try to roll with Matt Eberflus. And like you said, I think they're going to try to stay the course, and I think they're hoping for a better result. But I'll tell you this. I do think some of this is predicated on Stephen Jones last week. I don't know if y'all listened to it. Stephen Jones said something that I thought was very strange. Stephen Jones seemed to me to leave the door open for the Cowboys to get rid of Matt Eberflus. And the way he kind of said it is that he hopes Matt Eberflus, he talked about making the mistake of getting the 3rd defensive coordinator in 3 years. And he says that he hopes that Matt Eberflus makes it and continues to evolve But then he says he knows that he will. But if you kind of pay attention, he left that door open. So I'm saying all that to say this. If they were to lose this game tonight because Jacoby Brissett came in and put out 40 on the Cowboys, Jacoby Brissett now. Jacoby Brissett is the Statue of Liberty. He can throw the ball, but he's a Statue of Liberty. He comes in and lights this defense up. And then the Cowboys were to get a couple of players. And then that defense still get lit up. With DeMarion Overshown coming back, you won't see Matt Eberflus next year. Now, you won't see him next year. Now, they're wanting, and believe me when I tell you, they're wanting some improvement from him this year. This year. If they bring in somebody, they want results this year. You're not going to get somebody and Flus don't start showing some improvements immediately. They want improvements this season if they bring somebody in. So we're going to see how all this shakes down. I'm very interested to see how all this is about to shake down. All right, let me let y'all hear this thing with Dak Prescott, and then we're going to get into Jon Gruden. I don't know if y'all heard this thing with Dak Prescott. I did a video on it, but they were asking Dak Prescott some questions about the Cowboys, about the noise, about Jerry Jones, and other things going on again around the Cowboys. I think Dak Prescott gave some very interesting answers. Poobie D said he doesn't want Trey Hendrickson. Poobie D, the only way I would want Trey Hendrickson is that the Cowboys get him for the right price. The right price. That's the only way I would want the Cowboys. Definitely no 2 first-rounders or no multiple picks. I would prefer, if anything, a second-round draft pick at the most. But I would hope the Cowboys wouldn't give up a lot for him. D-Block, what up, D-Block? What up with you? Good to see you. Yeah, only way I would want Trey Hendrickson is if they agreed to pay some of the money. Mac Man, he said if they get another DC and guys all of a sudden start tackling, then they was trying to get Flus fired. But I can tell you this, Mac Man, I don't want those players on my team. Man, I don't want them players on my team. Nah, I can't deal with players like that. Because players like that, then if you deal with players like that, you're always going to be dealing with players like that. I don't want players like that. Whew. Man, no. No. Can't do that one. All right, let's check out Dak Prescott, and then we're going to get into Jon Gruden. Jon Gruden, man, y'all already know he's going to break this thing down. So Jon Gruden will lead us all the way into the Cowboys game.
First season here under Brian Schottenheimer. Can you tell me what he's brought to you guys?
Yeah, he's brought a lot of energy, just a genuine guy who, he's the same guy that you see, that the world sees on TV, is the same guy that we see in team meetings and individual meetings.
There you live. Appreciate you, D-Block. Daniel, I'm telling you now, if it's Chubb and Minka, yeah, it'll help. Yeah, it'll help. Yep, it'll help. Now, I'm not saying it's going to boost us to no top 15 defense, but it's definitely going to help. Yeah, true Texan, I couldn't deal with players like that. I wouldn't want no players like that. Roberto Bacon. You're exactly right. The defense looks like they're afraid of getting hit. They do. They don't want no contact. I don't think they want no contact. I don't.
And very consistent with his approach. He always says, the process doesn't change. And nobody walks that walk or talks that talk better than Shotty. And I think that's what you're looking for in a leader, and especially a leader in an organization like this where, the noise and everything can be so up and down. He's a steady pace and consistent, and it's important for us.
You touched on the noise. How do you?
Now, I told y'all this before. Rick 924, what's up? I told y'all this before. I give Matt Eberflus so much credit. It don't mean I agree with everything he does, but I'm riding with Matt Eberflus. And one of the reasons why I'm riding with Matt Eberflus is what Dak Prescott just said. That no matter what the noise is, Brian Schottenheimer is always kind of like even keel. And I told y'all he's the thing that's holding this team together. This is why he's been in the defensive room so much. Now, I want him to get to the point that he needs to back out of that room. Because we don't want the offense to start floundering. Because I don't find it to be coincidental. I know we were playing the Denver Broncos, but I don't find it to be coincidental. The week Brian Schottenheimer spent so much time in the defensive room, it was his worst offensive game. Schotty called a terrible game against Denver. He admitted it. He called a terrible game. It was a non-aggressive, very conservative, playing not to make mistakes. I mean, it was a terrible game. We need Brian spending time on them. We need Brian spending time on those game plans for the offense to use those offensive weapons. We need him to be in that offensive room. We can't have him spending all of his doggone time with the defense. Because if he got to keep spending time with the defense, then we might need to consider letting this joker go now. Because he's taken away from the whole team if Brian's going to have to stay in the doggone defensive room the rest of the year. True Texan, appreciate that super chat. Boy, True Texan, I wish we could go get Harvey Morton, Too Tall Jones, and Randy White. Shoot. Love to get some players like that. D Block, he said, G, if Shotty's in the room, he has got to do better. D Block, it didn't happen last week. Didn't happen last week. Let's see if it'll happen this week. Tatiana said the real test is going to be the away game. It is. Facts, it is. Cowboys are going to, I believe the Cowboys are going to eat on the Cardinals tonight. I don't see anything different, Tatiana. There's nothing that's telling me that they're not going to score 40. There's nothing that's telling me they're not going to score 40 unless Shotty has been spending too much time in the defensive room. Because I'm telling us, last week was a terrible game. He better not come out and do it again. Sunny Day said, yep, Shotty's being distracted by this horrific defense. And that means that if he's spending that much time, that's 2 weeks in a row in the defensive room, and if that defense doesn't look any better, the Joneses are going to have to just come to the conclusion and say, no, this is killing the whole team. You got to do something different. It better look different this week, D-Block. I'm with you. It better look different. And I'm telling you, man, if the Cowboys were to get mollywopped and the Cardinals come out here and score 40, shoot. Boy, y'all might not even see Matt Eberflus. Boy, we might not even see Matt Eberflus after the bye week. You know, but again, I can appreciate what Dak is saying about Brian Schottenheimer. I mean, Brian Schottenheimer is holding this thing together, man. He really is. And through all the noise, he's holding it together. Now, watch what Dak Prescott says about the noise if you hadn't already seen my video.
Guys deal with the noise because there's always a lot around here.
Yeah, I mean, as a veteran in the locker room and as a team leader, it's easy to say just, block it out and cancel it. And it's easy for me to do after, being here 10 years. I understand that, none of it's good. Whether it's good noise or bad noise, it's like the old saying, it's all rat poison. So I just try to stay away from it. It's harder, for some of the young guys, right? Such a social media era. I just try to echo it doesn't really matter, right? That you can control what you control the controllables, and just understand that there's always going to be that good or bad. So what we can't do is allow that to have an effect on what we believe about ourselves.
Now, you think about this right here, what Dak Prescott is talking about. This is a shot at Jerry Jones. But I want you to see the other part of the shot, too. The shot is also at the media. Because the media hangs on to everything Jerry Jones says. They blow up things that Jerry Jones say they shouldn't be blowing up. And so there's always a lot of talk and noise and drama around this team. And so Dak Prescott, being the veteran that he is, he can navigate it. But we heard him last year, and Dak understood how impressionable the young crowd is, because the young crowd in this social media era, and we call it an era, E-R-A, but I call it an E-R-R-O-R, this social media era, because people who are very impressionable, man, social media can ruin them, ruin their confidence, control their emotions, all these different things. And so Jerry Jones, because of how he's always been, man, the social media era has really magnified some of the things that Jerry Jones say that definitely wouldn't have been magnified long ago, but it's crazy now. So he's telling them, man, you got to keep, they got to keep it together. He doesn't like all the noise that Jerry makes. He doesn't like it. But his next answer is going to tell us, but he likes Jerry Jones. He understands what Jerry Jones is. And like he said, you control what you can control. Mills 36 back in the building. Mills 36 said, you was right about the Commanders. You called it back in May, G. Yup. Mills, I'm telling you, bro, it was fool's gold. You get these rookie quarterbacks, they come out, they have these amazing seasons. Nobody got tape on them. Shoot, this league got a way of humbling you. Shoot, they get tape on you. And I said this just a couple of weeks ago, Mills. If anybody remembers, I said, Jaden Daniels won't make it 5 years with the Commanders. I said it. He won't make it 5 years. With all that running he does, and they have figured it into a big part of their game, and the dude don't wait. I mean, just look at him. The dude couldn't weigh $105. All that running he does, he got to understand, bro, this ain't college. These grown men. These are professionals. They'll end your career, bro. These pros will end your career. This dude fell down and the elbow went backwards. Golly. Felt so bad for him last night. Thankfully, it wasn't his throwing arm. Felt so bad for him, though. Reminded me of RG3 all over again. Bro, you better stop it. That's all I'm saying. Better stop it. He won't last 5 years, y'all. I'm just telling y'all, he won't last 5 years. And Dan Quinn, y'all do know there's a reason why Dan Quinn was available for the Cowboys. Dan Quinn is a culture builder. Dan Quinn is good with players. Dan Quinn's got a certain type of defense that's built to play with a lead. But Dan Quinn, all I can say is he is the one that let the Patriots come back from that huge league when he was coaching the Atlanta Falcons. There's a reason why they let him go. There's a reason why he was available. And the stuff that he's done since he's been with the Washington Commanders, bringing in all them old players, still been bringing in old players around Jaden Daniels, giving up draft picks for old players. Come on, bro. I give Dan Quinn 2 more years. I give Dan Quinn 2 more years. And Dan Quinn going to be out the door too. Mills said, he said, oh yeah, I'm going. He said, I'm going to give you a shout out, G. Came because your channel last after the first Eagles game in Texas where you ripped Cooper Rush. Mills 36, boy, I went off on Cooper, boy. Man, I appreciate you been rocking with me this long, Mills. Boy, I went off, man. I went off on Cooper. These fans were right here talking about, man, you know it's bad. You the backup and you get benched. You the backup and you get benched in Baltimore. Come on, man. Gotta tell these people. 70s Fan Show said, G, are you sure Jerry Jones isn't the father of social media? Sure. Might be. Tell you what, he definitely takes advantage of it. Mose Logan said, I don't think Trey worth the hype. Mose, we're going to see on him. Hey, Mose, as long as the Cowboys don't give up no doggone picks and a first rounder for Trey, we'll see. D-Block, not only does he run too much, but he's a part of the run game. And Dan Quinn know it. Boy, Dan Quinn threw this dude under the bus so bad and ran over him backwards. Did y'all hear what Dan Quinn said? Dan Quinn got this dude in. And the game is what? 31-7 or 38-7. It's out of hand. 7-something minutes to go. Do y'all know Dan Quinn said? Yeah, he wasn't supposed to be scrambling on that play. What? Do what? Anybody mad? Anybody mad that Brian Schottenheimer now has taken Dak Prescott out of 2 games that have been out of reach? The Chicago Bears game, and then took him out of the game last week? Anybody mad about that now? I'm not mad about it because it's the best thing you could do. It's the best thing you could do. Man, you mess around and leave a dude in the game for what? Then he go out there and break an arm or break a leg. It's a doggone shame. Shoot, Dan Quinn, boy, some people would have fired him on those principles. Just on principle on that.
Dak, some of the noise from Jerry Jones as the season was kicking off. Jerry said, as he was explaining why he paid you and not Micah, he said, it's very simple.
This question right here is so heavy, and the answer is even heavier, man. Check this out.
Dak was indispensable. In my mind, Micah wasn't. What kind of pressure does that put on you to go out and perform?
No pressure, really. I think if anything, what it says is our expectations and our standards are aligned. I understand what.
Wait. Let me just tell y'all. When I heard Dak say this, I couldn't even quantify this. I mean, y'all tell me what y'all think about what Dak just said. Dak said that him and Jerry Jones, their standards are aligned. Their expectations are aligned. And he's saying, in essence, I understand exactly why Jerry kept me over Michael or said what he said about Dak not being expendable and keeping Dak rather than Michael Parsons and Dak, or paying. This answer, I mean, it is almost mind-boggling. Well, it's really not, but when you hear what Dak is saying, it's almost like Michael couldn't be the leader this team needed. The work ethic. I mean, just listen to Dak say this again.
If anything, what it says is our expectations and our standards are aligned.
So you're saying that Michael Parsons' expectations and standard wasn't aligned with yours and Jerry? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean, this is a crazy question that she asked you, but it's a very good question too. But the answer, I don't know if the answer is necessarily crazy. I just guess the answer is what it is. They're basically saying that Dak lined up with what Jerry wants. Dak lines up with what Jerry wants. It's the only way you can slice what Dak is saying. Work ethic, standards, leadership, Super Bowl. I'm just like, this question is off the chain.
I understand what Jerry is trying to do around here, and the ultimate.
This man said he understands what Jerry's trying to do. Dak is telling us something. Jerry does want to win. I've told y'all before Jerry wants to win. Problem is he want to do it like Frank Sinatra.
Goal is winning. He's going to make noise and do that, right? He said it before, if there's not enough noise, he'll create it himself and make it a soap opera. But at the end of the day, our jobs as players and men in the locker room is to win and to do whatever it takes to win. And so for me, what he's saying is just throughout my preparation, just the way that I approach the game, is always just trying to do it right. I think just right, do the next thing right. And I think he's just alluding to putting your head down and focusing. And
hold on a second, Dak. Now I don't know if anybody else is catching this. Dak, hold on a second. You saying that Michael wasn't that? I can tell you the one part that Jerry, I think, appreciates about Dak Prescott. Jerry and Michael, I said this before. Jerry and Michael was a bad recipe for this reason. They're just alike. I still think Michael Parsons' DNA needs to be tested. This man may be related to Jerry Jones because they're a lot alike. Michael loves the spotlight. Michael loves to talk, loves to say things to kind of get people's mind going. Just like he started talking about Trayvon, they did my dog wrong. Stop it, Michael. Diggs came back on his own early. But that's Michael Parsons. But Dak Prescott, you'll notice you don't get a lot of that. Yeah, you don't get a lot of that with Dak. You don't get a lot of that with Dak Prescott. Jerry can say stuff and Dak won't say nothing until somebody pretty much asks him. And then even then, he'll just kind of keep it, he keeps it very politically correct. But I love this part right here. Dak said, Jerry likes the fact, puts his head down, does things right. Dak says, I control the parts I can control. And you know the other part he's saying? And I let Jerry be Jerry. I thought that was off the chain. I said, boy, this boy Dak up in here spitting, boy. Dak just said, I just let Jerry be Jerry. That's it. I just let Jerry be Jerry. My job, going full circle on what we talked about. Let me go back to the super chat. It was from JL Channel 96. He said, this defense is puzzling at this point. Does it come to pro ball players just playing football? Stop all the excuses about the scheme. Be a pro and play. JL Channel, that's exactly what Dak said that Jerry likes about him. Exactly what he just said. I thought this was I thought this was like one of the. Again, I got some more to say about this. I may do another video on it later. There's a couple of more things in here, but we only got about an hour and a half until the Cowboys play the Cardinals. Man, I'm excited. So let's mosey on over here to Jon Gruden. I don't know if y'all have heard this. I haven't heard it, but it's Jon Gruden, man. It's Jon Gruden. Anytime Jon Gruden is talking...
Okay, Monday Night Football, we have the...
Anytime Jon Gruden is talking football, I want to hear it, especially when it's about the Dallas Cowboys. Now, y'all keep in mind, we got to keep commentary in between this because don't want the copyright strike. I don't even know. I didn't get one the last time, so let's cross our fingers that we don't get one this time. But we're going to roll through this and let Brian tell us a lot of things about what's going on with the Cowboys, and we may skip a few sections. We may skip a few sections for time's sake, depending upon how much we got some things to say in here. But, of course, man, Brian is about to break it down. LaQueen, you ready, LaQueen? You still in here? I know you like Jon Gruden, too, when he break it down. Let's go.
Arizona Cardinals at 2-5. They're on a 5-game losing streak, heading to Dallas to play the Dallas Cowboys, who are 3-4-1. I'm wearing my AC/DC hat because I think both of these teams, They need to get fired up, man. Like, I remember I got to go up on stage and sing Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap with Brian Johnson. The thrill of my life, but it charged me up, and that's what these two teams need. They need to start their seasons right now because their backs are against the wall. This Top of Mind is brought to you by Chevrolet. Football season's in full swing, and whether you're grinding through the week or gearing, Arizona has mediocre statistics, but there's one statistic that you guys got to know, and it's unbelievable. Do you know that Arizona
Wait, I know you like the Jon Gruden breakdowns.
Is outscoring their opponent 124-78? That's a plus 46 differential. But in the fourth quarter, they're getting outscored 76-29, minus 47 in the fourth quarter. So the theme has to be finish. When this game gets in the fourth quarter, keep reminding yourself of that stat. Arizona, let's freaking go, man. Let's finish the game with authority. And I know that's what Jonathan Gannon has been preaching probably for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Dallas is 3-0 against teams that are under 500. But when they play teams that are 500 or better, they're 0-4-1. And the Cowboys, they got to get their act together. They should be favored in this game, and they are. And then they're going to be favored next week when they play on the road against the Raiders. But after that, they got to play some really good teams. They got the 6-2 Eagles, the 5-2 Chiefs, the 5-2 Lions, and the 5-3 Chargers. So they better make do. You know what I'm saying? Arizona, this is supposed to be a breakout year. That's what everybody was saying back in the preseason. All of us podcasters and geniuses behind the mic. Hell's bells. Jonathan Gannon was going into his third year. They won 4 games his first year. Then they won 8. Then they went out and bolstered their defense. They drafted Walter Nolan, a big defensive tackle. They got Josh Sweat. They even got Calais Campbell to come back. It was supposed to be a breakout year. Kyler Murray's in his
What up, Bass in Newhouse?
third year. We got Marvin Harrison in his second year. Well, it hadn't happened. And right now, the Arizona Cardinals are on a 5-game losing streak. You could say they're the most disappointing team in football. Take a look at this.
LaQueen, I was thinking the same thing. Boy, could you imagine this dude being your coach? Woo! And especially with the players, if you gave him the dogs, oh man,
standings in both divisions. In the NFC West, the Arizona Cardinals are in deep trouble. If they don't win tonight, you can pretty much say goodnight. The Seattle Seahawks and the Rams are both 5-2. San Francisco's 5-3, and Arizona's bringing up the rear at 2-5. And in the NFC East, it's all Philadelphia right now. They're 6-2. They found their passing game, and the Dallas Cowboys are 3-4-1. Both Washington at 3-5 and the Giants at 2-6. Struggling, man. The Dallas Cowboys are second in the NFL in penalties, and it's really hurt them. They have got to eliminate the penalties to have.
What is going on with this team with the penalties? Brian Schottenheimer was supposed to help that. This team is as bad as it was with penalties last year. That is crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. Big Rambowski, let's see. Big Rambowski. He said, I said at the start of the season that week 12 through 16 would be brutal. Philly, KC, Detroit, and the Chargers. All well-coached and battle-tested, brutal. Hey, Big Rambowski. The Cowboys in that stretch right there, Rambowski, they have got to figure out a way to come out 2-2 or 3-1. They cannot go 1-3. It's got to be 2-2, 3-1. Oh, hey, 4-0. 4-0 would be incredible. But they can't come out of this, Rambowski. Philly, KC, Detroit, the Chargers, they can't come out less than 2-2. Minimum 2-2. 3-1 is ideal. I think they beat Philly, though. I don't think Philly can sweep. It's hard for NFC teams to sweep, even though it's going to be easy for the Eagles to sweep, I believe, the Commanders and the Giants. But I'm telling us, man, to sweep The Cowboys, as the Eagles, is going to be tough. It's going to be tough for them. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. And also, too, you know, by the time we see the Eagles, let's flip over to this real quick. By the time we see the Eagles, let me tell you something, anything's possible. The Eagles are 6-2. By the time the Cowboys see the Eagles, they could be 5-4. Before the Eagles see the Cowboys, they got two very hard games. And I am really going to be interested in these two games. Will the Green Bay Packers bounce back? Because let me tell you something. If the Philadelphia Eagles beat the Green Bay Packers, after that trade, somebody got to start talking. Somebody got to start talking if the Eagles beat the Packers at home. I don't care how good the Eagles are. If they beat the Packers at home after what the Packers have traded, somebody got to start talking. The Packers may very well knock the Eagles off. The Eagles got another tough game. The Lions are coming to Philly. I could see the Eagles losing one of these two games. Struggling to see them lose both of them. But they could win. They could lose one of these two games. So by the time they see the Cowboys, that would be, if the Packers beat them, that'd be 6-3. They'd be 7-3. By the time the Cowboys see them, the Cowboys will be 5-4. If the Cowboys can beat them, they'll be 6-4. And that'll put the Eagles at what, 7-4? The Cowboys can find themselves half a game behind the Eagles. Because this is really the play. If the Cowboys want to really go to the playoffs, this is the play. They've got to win the NFC. They can't rule that out. Now, the problem for the Eagles is, down the stretch, they don't have too many hard games left. After the Cowboys, the Eagles will play the Bears. I mean, with parity, you never know, but they got to go play the Chargers. They're going to play the Raiders at home. That's probably going to be a blowout for the Eagles. They got to play the Commanders. The Commanders are done. They're going to sweep the Commanders, unfortunately. But who knows, man, with Marcus Mariota getting some games under his belt, maybe Marcus Mariota will turn them around. And then they got the Bills. The Cowboys' margin for error is so small. It is so small if they want to win the division. It is very, very small. But they still got to keep trying to win because the road to the wild card will still be there. But they got to keep winning. Cowboys have got to keep winning. They got to get on a serious win streak. Cowboys need to win about 4 or 5 in a row. And if you ask me, they need to win for the rest of the season. Forget 4 or 5 in a row. It'd be great if they could win the rest of the season.
Have a chance to hover around, hang around, and perhaps sneak into playoffs. They have 67 penalties, man, for 555
That's
yards.
Crazy.
29 on the offense, 25 on the defense, and 13 in the kicking game. And they have had too many false starts. They had 5, I think, last week against the Denver Broncos.
McMahon,
one on
crazy,
the 1-yard line, going in for a touchdown, and they had to settle for a field goal. God, I hate false starts. Another thing to look at in this game tonight is the Cowboys are really good at home, especially on offense. They're 2-0-1. They average 41.3 points per game at home and 441 yards. That's number 1 in the NFL. I think these guys like playing in that big dome, man. I would. Arizona's just 5-15 on the road. They have struggled under head coach Jonathan Gannon. On Monday Night Football, Dak Prescott, you know he loves the lights. He's 5-1 as a starting quarterback on Monday Night Football, though Dallas is 0-1-1 in prime time this year. Arizona won their last Monday Night Football game last year. They beat Malasek's Chargers 17-15. You know, this is a funny series. The Dallas Cowboys have really struggled against Arizona. Arizona's won 7 out of the last 8 meetings. They've won the last 3 meetings in Arlington, so they're not afraid of going on the road. Hell, Kyler Murray was 42-0 as a high school quarterback down the street at Allen High School. He won 3 state championships. Maybe they should play Kyler Murray. I don't know. The last time these teams met was week 3. in 2023 at Arizona early in the season. Josh Dobbs, that quarterback for Arizona, shredded Dallas 28-16. Dak Prescott got sacked a couple times early. Arizona got a big lead and hung on. Couple cool things to remember about Dak Prescott: 45 wins, 18 losses, and a tie at home. I love seeing how quarterbacks play after a loss. And Dak Prescott is 31-14-1 after a loss. That says a lot about his mental toughness, and I think Prescott's going to be on the screws on Monday night. When you look at the Arizona quarterback situation, you got to study the numbers. I know.
Okay, Juice Man, you made a point here. I was thinking in my mind that Philly might have already gotten beat by the Giants, right? Yeah, the Giants beat them 34-17. Yeah, I'm looking at it right there on the screen. Yep, 34-17. So they've already split that one. But hey, who knows? Maybe Marcus Mariota with a couple of games, man, maybe he'll start playing really good. He got some wheels on him, I can tell you that. So we're going to see what happens now that he's going to be at the helm.
Kyler Murray, he's 38-48, one tie as a starter. He's taken Arizona to the playoffs one time. They got beat 34-11 a few years ago by the Rams in a wild card game.
And he looked like trash in that game.
When you look at the performance this year of Murray and Brissett, they're averaging 20.6 points a game with Kyler Murray. They're averaging 25 points a game with Jacoby Brissett. And Brissett played against two top 10 scoring defenses, Green Bay and Indianapolis. Passing yards, Murray, 186 yards a game, Jacoby Brissett, 300. And the football team moves the ball better with Brissett under center. 288 yards a game with Murray, 385 for Jacoby Brissett. So
yeah, this is going to be an issue here, guys. Yeah, Brissett is going to be a problem because he can throw the ball. He can see over the defensive line. He's going to be a problem. Cowboys going to have to get to him. Cowboys going to have to get to him for sure. Big Rombowski, I'm not sure where Angie's been, but I know Niecy's in here. Yeah, she's in here already. I don't know. This Brissett, we got to be real careful. Brissett is pretty smart.
You got to be honest. There is a little bit of a controversy, and if Jacoby Brissett shreds this struggling Dallas Cowboy defense, it's going to really make a case for him to remain a starting quarterback. When you look at these two triggers, Dak Prescott has again proven he's one of the most prolific passers in the NFL. Statistically, 70% complete, almost 2,100 yards, 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He's fifth in the league in completion percentage, third in the league in yards, and he's also number one with 204 completions, and he leads the NFL with 290 attempts. What I love the most is his tight window accuracy. There is a stat out there, and I get access to these stats because I just sit in here and crunch numbers all day and watch tape. Prescott has completed 20% of his throws in tight windows. That's 1 yard or less of separation. And it's not really even close over the last couple years. Who's the most daring, confident, tight window passer? It's Dak Prescott of the Dallas Cowboys. He also has some of the best freaking wideouts you will see. The addition of Pickens, CeeDee Lamb's healthy again, and Ferguson, their tight end, he's got over 50 grabs as well. Don't go to sleep on Jacoby Brissett. This guy is dangerous. He's very tough and athletic. In just 2 games, 599 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, and a pick. He's got Arizona on the move. I think both coaches are in desperation mode. Think about it. If you're
Lynn, I think you make a good point here. From the 903, what up with you? Lynn, I'm telling you, if there is a game that he could blitz in tonight, it's this one. Jacoby Brissett is immobile. Kyler Murray, it might be a problem, but he isn't mobile. He isn't mobile. He isn't mobile like Kyler Murray mobile. So, Cowboys, he's going to probably be a sitting duck back there. If there was ever a game that calls for blitzing the quarterback, It's this one. It's this one.
Jonathan Gannon, and you got a fourth down situation, go for it. We got to score, man, because you know Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys have the potential to put numbers up. I think this is going to be a go-for-it situation. Wouldn't be surprised if we saw some trickery in the kicking game from Arizona. And if you're Brian Schottenheimer, all you got to do is go back to last week's game in Denver. It's 4th and 4. You're on your own 45-yard line. You're down 30-17. He chose to punt. He trusted his defense. Bam, 37-17 game.
Can y'all explain to me, did Brian Schottenheimer get hit in the head with a glass Gatorade bottle? In what universe would you trust the Dallas Cowboys defense? Come on! Come on! Brian. Man, let me tell y'all something. Brian, maybe Brian Schottenheimer's game wasn't so good. He might need to be drug tested. Brian Schottenheimer might need to be drug tested for saying we was going to try to pin him deep and our defense get a stop. This man need to be drug tested for that.
Over. I think Brian's going to go for it, take some aggressive shots. He's going to do everything he can to keep the ball in Prescott's hands. If they have to outscore people to win, he's going to really go all out to do that with his decision making. Finally, we have two very good kickers in the game. I think the best kicker I've ever seen is Brandon Aubrey of the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, this guy's 29 out of 32 from over 50 yards. I've been on teams where we didn't even let our kicker try a kick over 50 yards. Hell, if you miss a 52-yarder, you give them the ball at the 42-yard line, Jake. You guys know the risk involved? But with Aubrey, holy shit, he's like Mr. Automatic. And this kicker for the Cardinals, Chris Ryland, he's had a nice year as well. 13 for 15 on field goals, 16 for 16 on PATs. And there are some injuries, some really important things to look out for. For the Arizona...
Talking about the trades y'all talking about in the chat, I'm seeing where the Cowboys have called the Bengals about Logan. Yeah, the Cowboys have called the Bengals about Logan Wilson. Who requested to be traded less than 2 weeks ago. He has 3 years left on his current deal. This is probably the kind of player, that they're probably looking for. He's set to make $12.6 million across 2026 and 27 and has around $2.6 million remaining in his base salary for the back half of this season. There are also around $1.3 million in bonuses to his salary, bringing the total remaining value of his deal to around $16 million. These are the kinds of deals the Cowboys look for. These are the kinds of deals the Cowboys look for. So I will not be surprised if this is the guy that they choose. Will not be surprised.
On the Cardinals, Garrett Williams, if he plays.
I'm with you, Big Rumbowski. Shouty got a vendetta against Blue. I agree with you.
If he's healthy, that is a significant change of scheme for Arizona. He can play outside. He can play the nickel position. He allows them to play a lot more man-to-man and free up Budda Baker. Garrett Williams, before you do anything, see if he's active. And then Walter Nolan. Where the hell has he been, Walter? He hurt his calf in training camp. He's a #1 pick. He's supposed to go in there and raise hell. So guys like Josh Sweat and Baron Browning can get off on the outside. I think he might play. B.J. Ojulari, he's coming back, but not this week. Outside linebacker, another pass rusher. Kyler Murray, his foot, is he active? If he is, there could be some plays for Kyler Murray in this game to use his legs.
That's my
against
concern.
the struggling Cowboy defense. And then DeMercado, the running back, he had an ankle. He was inactive last week against the Green Bay Packers. DeMercado, okay? You don't know who the Arizona Cardinals running backs are, do you? I bet you don't, because I don't. I'm just learning who DeMercado is. Now, for the Dallas Cowboys, I have never seen safeties get hurt like they get hurt in the Dallas football team this year. Donovan Wilson, he might play. He's got shoulder issues. He's got a lot of issues with his body. Number 6, Donovan Wilson, we need him to play if you're a Cowboy. Thomas, number 2, the other safety. He had migraines the last couple weeks. We don't know what his status is.
I think he's playing.
Then Elijah Clark, who started at safety last week, I believe he's out. And then if you throw in Hooker, who is their opening day starter at safety, that's your top 4 safeties. So I would do a lot of due diligence on Donovan Wilson and 1J Thomas, see if those guys are playing. Because if they aren't, advantage Arizona. They are going to welcome back Cooper Beebe. I believe Beebe will be the center. He's missed the last 6 weeks. It'll be good to have him back in the pivot. And linebacker Jack Sanborn.
Daniel said Blue, Mingo, Cornelius, Mozzie Wilson, Elijah Clark, and Adonijah have all been ruled inactive tonight.
Third leading tackler who came over from the Bears, looks like he's out. Let's go. Let's get into this matchup. We have 2 teams that desperately need a win. This offense-defense matchup is brought to you by Fox 1. On Fox 1, you can stream your... You take a good look at Prescott's numbers. When he's been sacked 2 or more times this year, he's thrown 3 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. But if you look at the games where he has only...
Brandy, I'm going to tell you what I see in Jaden Blue, and I said this before. I don't think he runs timid or scared. I don't think he wants to run between the tackles. And that actually isn't where Brian Schottenheimer should be running him, is between the tackles. Jaden Blue should be edges, trying to get him to the edge, trying to get him in space. He should be your screen game. You should try to figure him into your passing game and try to get him in space. Brian wants him to be a traditional running back. Well, heck, he won a traditional running back at Texas. Why would you bring him in trying to play him like a traditional running back? That's not what he is. He's a playmaker. He's a guy that you want on the field in space to let him use his speed. Don't understand it. But we'll see what happens as the season goes on.
Only been sacked 1 time or less. Guess what? 13 touchdowns, no picks. And I used to say this a lot as a coach. You know, hey, we only got sacked 1 time today. Bullshit. The guy got hit 12 times. So you raise hell on the sidelines, you raise hell in the meeting room, you raise hell on the practice field until the protection is at an elite level. That's what Prescott needs, and if he gets it, you better look out because they can move the ball and thrash anybody. The run game of the Dallas Cowboys might be the biggest surprise. I mean, they got a lot of young guys. I know they're high picks on the offensive line, but who's the running back? Everybody said, who's the running back? I don't know why they let Rico Dowdle out of here in the first place. He had 1,000 yards last year, and if Carolina just gives him the ball, he might break an NFL record. That's for another day. They signed
Rico Dowdle, last 4 games, if I'm not mistaken, something like 454 yards. I think he's the leading rusher in the league over the last 4 weeks. Rico Dowdle has been on a tear. And I do think Mike McCarthy's misuse of Rico Dowdle, similar to how Brian Schottenheimer is misusing Jaden Blue, now Rico Dowdle is being used right, and Rico Dowdle is going off the chain. I'm telling y'all right now, y'all go ahead and keep thinking Jaden Blue is not this, that, and the other. Let a coach like Andy Reid get a hold to him. We'll be crying. We will be crying when we see him with a play caller. Don't even want to imagine him with Sean Payton. You put him with a play caller like Sean Payton, Andy Reid, some of those guys. Keep on thinking Blue ain't good. Keep thinking.
Javonte Williams, the ex-Denver Bronco, he had a major injury in Denver. This guy is on a mission. And you talk about
I see
numbers.
you, Big Robowski.
Javonte Williams, 124 carries, 635 yards, 8 touchdowns in 7 games. And he's caught 24.
Big Rombowski, all I'm going to add, Big Rombowski, all I'm going to add to that is this. So, of all the emails they went through, what, some 50, 60,000 emails? Jon Gruden, the only one that said anything bad, huh? Yeah. I'm believing that.
Passes. The last Cowboy running back to catch 24 passes, run for 635, and 8 touchdowns in the first 7 games. You know what his name was, Jake?
Who?
Emmitt Smith, man. 1995 from right here at the University of Florida. So if you're a Cowboy fan, get a Javonte Williams jersey. He has really helped the Cowboys legitimize the running game. And it has set up some beautiful play-action passes for Prescott. My God, the numbers in this play-action offense are awesome. They're running play-action off the duo. They're running trap pass off the one-back power play. They're moving the pocket with Prescott. Their play-action pass offense, I'm making cut-ups of it right now. So when I come back and coach, and I'll be back, it might be at Jones Junior High, but I'll be back, I'm going to run some of these exact plays. And I'm going to say, look what Prescott does. We want to do this. 84% complete, man, and a 137 QBR on play-action passes. That's phenomenal. And you know what? When you study Prescott, which I have because he's been on Gruden's QB class, coming out of Mississippi State, 10th year. Every year he's got over 100 QBR in play action. He's a great ball handler. He's willing to turn his back to the defense. I'm not talking about these bullshit RPO bubble passes. I'm talking about turning your back to the defense, extending the ball, trusting your protection, setting up, and having the intent to throw the ball down the field to these great receivers. It's a lovely thing. 30% of the Dallas Cowboys passing game are some form of play-action passes, and I think that's a big reason why they're on top of the league throwing the football. The Cowboys use 11 personnel almost 70% of the time.
Now, McMahon says if they ran blue outside the tackles, the run game would be crazy. Now, McMahon, if you look at the 3 teams that have been able to stop the Cowboys, the Bears, the Panthers, the Broncos, they all 3 did the same thing. They stopped the Cowboys' inside run. And because they have no outside running game, if you stop the Cowboys between the tackles, they have no outside run game. They don't. That's their run game. Now, a lot of people might not realize it, but Brian Schottenheimer at this point, a lot of his plays, a lot of his game plans, they look sort of like some of the stuff Mike McCarthy was running. It just looks better because Brian is able to do something that Mike didn't want to do, run the ball. But when Mike did run the ball, what did he do? Between the tackles. That's all he wanted to do. Between the tackles. And then if we want to run outside, what do? A boring jet sweep. Come on, man. Everybody is on to the Cowboys jet sweep. We hurt CeeDee Lamb once. We're going to hurt him again. Try to do it again last week, and he almost got hurt again. The Cowboys, I'm telling you, man, if you stop us between the tackles, we have no run game. We give up on it. Because we can't run outside. We're one-dimensional running the ball. Now, I understand you're a power run team. You are a power run team, and so you're saying we're going to make our living between the tackles. But there are teams out there that can stop you between the tackles. And while you can throw the ball all over the place at home, you don't take those chances on the road. So when teams stop you on the road, and if y'all look at these teams that have beat the Cowboys, you want to know how they're beating them? They stop them from running on the road, and Brian Schottenheimer is not willing to be aggressive on the road and throw the ball all over the place. He's not willing to do it. I'm telling y'all, we are one-dimensional. If you stop us between the tackles, you stop us. Rich Lloyd makes a point. Let me tell you. Now, Rich Lloyd, let me tell you, you make a point about the running game, but it's still very, very stoppable because they talked about what the Carolina Panthers did to the Cowboys. Clayton Adams has brought in misdirection, traps, pin, and pull. Well, guess what the Carolina Panthers did? They crashed the Cowboys' offensive line, and they were killing them whenever they were trying to do these traps, this misdirection, and all this stuff. They penetrated the Cowboys' offensive line, and they stopped all that stuff. And once you stop that stuff, we don't have no answer. We don't have no answer. We really can't go outside of the tackles on teams. We don't have an answer for it. Javonte Williams, that's not his forte. He's a between the tackles running back. We going to have to be, but I understand. I guess if you can do it, you can do it. But why? When you, and if you notice, on the road, it happens on the road. Carolina crashed on them. Denver definitely crashed on them. They penetrated that offensive line so they wouldn't be able to do all those misdirections, those pulls, all that stuff. Yeah, it's good when you can when you're running up against an inferior defensive line. Yeah, all that stuff looks good. But when you run up against those Denver Broncos, Carolina Panthers, New York Giants, Green Bay Packers, when you start running up, and I'm kind of pump the brakes on the Packers, but when you start running up against those teams that's got those shown up defensive lines, you're not doing it. And guess what? We do realize that most of the teams that once they get to the playoffs, they got those defensive lines that can stop you from running the ball between the tackles. They absolutely can stop you. That's why they're there. That's why they're in the playoffs. They're not the mediocre teams. They are the teams with the defensive lines. They are the teams that can penetrate your offensive line. They are the teams that can stop the traps, the misdirections, and then they make you one-dimensional because the question becomes, if you can't run between the tackles, now explain to me how you're going to get outside. Getting outside not only requires blocking, but it also requires speed. It requires speed. And the Cowboys, I'm telling this, man, once you penetrate that line, over. And that's why when you look at that Denver Bronco game, we were atrocious in the run game. Carolina Panther game, atrocious in the run game. Why? How do you take the run game away from a team? How do you do that? I'm telling you, they're using Jaden Blue the wrong way. And if it's not Jaden Blue, then you're gonna have to find somebody else to have an outside run game. Because a lot of teams, I'm telling you, if you're watching the Cowboys on tape, other teams are watching this. And they're saying, okay, all we got to do is stop this part. Devin Mills, watch this. Watch this, Devin Mills. You said a fumble by Blue, putting him in the doghouse, but we can't get outside, so that's almost like we're doubling down or hurting ourselves. Devin Mills, now watch this part. Javonte Williams fumbled, and he cost the Cowboys a game. We do know that Javonte Williams fumbled that ball. against the Chicago Bears and changed that game. He changed it. He changed the momentum of that game. And that was a major fumble. He changed the momentum of that game. And then the second series, of course, because the Cowboys can't run outside, you want to see the symptoms of what I'm telling you about? Then the second series of the game, what do the Cowboys try to do? They try to run CeeDee Lamb on that lame jet sweep they've been running for years. And what happens when he runs that lame jet sweep? Got his leg rolled up on. If jet sweeps are our answer to getting outside, we're going to get stopped almost every time because it's pretty easy to see. It's pretty easy to see. It is pretty easy to see for most teams. The Cowboys are using Jaden Blue wrong, I'm telling you. Why would you go and get Jaden Blue after watching the tape at Texas and say, yeah, we're going to run him the same way we run Javonte Williams? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Absolutely make it make sense. You don't go get Jaden Blue and try to turn him into Javonte Williams. Rich Lloyd said, touche. He said, with all due respect, Bass and Hoffman were playing the Carolina game. Booker and BB were definitely missed in the run game. Touche. Touche. So we're going to watch that run game because, let me think. I'm going to come back to that response, Rich Lord. I appreciate that response. But even then, he couldn't have played the other games because the Cowboys have been reluctant to use him. Why? Because it seems pretty simple to me. They want to turn him into Javonte Williams. When Shotty says you got a guy beside you that is doing everything right, yeah, everything that you want right as far as running between the tackles. That's just not Jaden Blue's game. You go look at him at Texas. That is not his game. It never made sense to me.
Which is pretty high above the league average. What is 11 personnel, Clay? How many backs?
1.
Jake, how many tight ends?
1.
Therefore, how many receivers, Clay?
3.
That's right. And wouldn't you play 3 receivers at a time if you had George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb, and you had about 5 other guys that are badasses? I mean, they got Cavante Turbin, Jalen Tolbert, and they got this kid out of Southeast Missouri named Flournoy. They're all badasses, man.
Ballin'.
Play 3 at a time. Hell, if I didn't have Jake Ferguson, I might play 10 personnel. That's 1 back and how many tight ends?
0.
How many receivers would that be?
4.
Don't be surprised. But they got Jake Ferguson, another great receiving tight end. But they're using 11 personnel with Javonte Williams as the back. And I'm convinced Dak can walk up there in a trips formation, and if it's cover 2, they're doubling Pickens, they're doubling CD. They'll hand the ball to Javonte Williams, and he'll bam right down your throat. If you play a single high defense, you load the box, God help you. Good luck against Pickens and CeeDee Lamb. They can kill you. It's a really well-orchestrated offense. They average 7 yards per play in 11 personnel. That's outstanding. And they use that 3-letter thing I love, RCE. Prescott has a lot of freedom. When he recognizes a matchup, he'll communicate, whether verbally or non-verbally, and they'll execute at a high level. It's fun to watch. I can't wait to see the Cowboys at home where they average 41 points a game. The offense has to carry the team. We've said that. We've got to keep maintaining that thought throughout the game. They've scored in 20 straight quarters. That's how consistent they have been. You know, in the NFL, there are 4 players with 40 catches and 6 touchdowns or more. Think about it. 4 players that have 40 or more catches and 6 or more touchdowns. 2 of them are on Dallas. Which 2 are they, Clay?
Pickens and Lamb.
You would think so. One of them is Pickens. The other one is Jake Ferguson. He's got 51 grabs and 6 touchdowns. Remember, CeeDee Lamb's missed a few games. So just think about the firepower that they have. I bet it keeps Arizona's defensive coordinator, Nick Rawls, up at night. Let's talk about this Arizona Cardinal defense. You know, Their statistics aren't great. They're not bad. They're kind of down the middle. But the biggest thing they got to do better is close games out. Fourth quarter. And I know that's a big issue with this defensive coaching staff and all of these defensive players. Who do we trust in the fourth quarter pass rush? And if we can't get there with 4, should we consider more blitzing? But when you look at the fourth quarter pass rush, we don't want to point fingers, right? But what did Micah Parsons do a couple weeks to Arizona in the fourth quarter? Kaboom! He ended their day. What did Charles Haley do for the Dallas Cowboys when Aikman and Irvin and all the guys got a big lead? Kapow! You guys know what I'm saying, yes? What do you think Chris Jones just got paid for in Kansas City? You got to have closers in the fourth quarter on your defense. Right now, Josh Sweat, the ex-Philadelphia Eagle, he's the guy they're counting on to rush off the right side. Calais Campbell, he's the guy they got to count on the inside. They've been using 2 guys coming off the other side, Baron Browning and number 25, Zaven Collins. They need those guys to raise hell. And then these inside guys over here, where in the heck is my man, Darius Robinson, first-round pick out of Missouri? I haven't felt him yet. Stills 55, maybe it's Walter Nolan. Bottom line is, when you get outscored like this in the fourth quarter, you got to take a good look at your fourth quarter pass rush and why we're not able to end the day. I mean, you can't be this kind of a defense where you go the whole season, in 7 games, they've given up 20 points in the first quarter. That tells you you have the guys you need to get it done. Do you guys agree or not, Jake?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, you agree. But in the fourth quarter, you've given up 76 points. That's 10.9 points a game in the fourth quarter. That's 31st in the league. Only the Steelers have given up more points in the fourth quarter. So when we get to the fourth quarter tonight, everybody do this with their hands. Let's go, Arizona. Close the deal, man. If they don't close the deal, there's going to have to be more changes made. Arizona only blitzes 20% of the time. This is the fewest amount of blitzes in the NFL. A lot of it might have to do with the injuries they've had in the secondary. I've told you, Garrett Williams is a very important guy. And not only do they not blitz much, they don't get much pressure. Right now, Arizona has a 4.1% sack rate. They're not getting to the quarterback enough. And if it wasn't for Josh Sweat and Calais Campbell, I wouldn't know if any of these guys are even on Arizona's pass rush unit. They're just not getting home enough, and it's really hurt this team, especially in obvious passing situations in the fourth quarter when you get tired. So when you think about this, if you don't get...
I think Blue is inactive for a couple of different reasons. Brian Schottenheimer had already gave the indicator that Blue was going to be inactive. If y'all don't remember, he clearly stated last week that Jaden Blue is coming along, but he said you can't put the ball on the ground. And then out of the blue, he says, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention Malik Davis. And he starts talking about the consistency of Malik Davis or something like that. And I'm like, wait a minute. Consistency of Malik Davis? Are you talking about in practice? He must be talking about in practice. So tonight, what we're going to see is or at least what I think we're going to see, is we're going to see Shotty starting to try to put together his power run game. And that is going to be Williams and Malik Davis. So that's what we're going to see tonight. And I think that will eventually give away to Javonte Williams and Phil Maffa if the Cowboys are able to get him on the field this year. But I can tell us right now, I do not believe that the front office is going to let Brian Schottenheimer trade Jaden Blue. I don't think they're going to let him do it. And I think they're going to make him, as time goes on, if not this year, Cowboys aren't letting go of Jaden Blue. At least I don't think they are. Even though Shotty has kind of made it clear he doesn't fit the criteria of what he likes in a running back. I believe because he's a part of the Joneses plan, no, we're going to see Jaden Blue. I think we'll see Jaden Blue. Eventually, he'll get back in the lineup. Cowboys are working back in. And you'll see him, if not this year, for sure next year. I think the one mistake they're making with him, too, put him on kickoff return. Put him on kickoff return. Kevontae Turpin ain't looking. I'm sorry, but Kevontae Turpin, ever since Shotty decided to put him at the third wide receiver spot, we haven't really seen hardly anything for Turpin. Nothing, especially on offense. I mean, no big plays hardly. Nothing. Yeah, I don't think Cowboys are going to let Jaden Blue get traded, but Jaden Blue is sitting down right now, and the Cowboys are bringing up Malik and some other players, and they're going for that power run game. Yeah, again, not trading Blue, making him for the future. Yeah, 72, they're not going to trade him. Yeah, he's a part of the plan. You can tell the way the Joneses have talked about him. He's a part of the plan. Rich Lloyd says, speaking of consistent, doesn't Shotty seem inconsistent with his third down? I think he's a little bit inconsistent on third downs and in the red zone. I think he gets a little too cute sometimes. He wants to throw the ball down there in the red zone sometimes. Like, Shotty, man, just run it 4 times. James Bowie, you got to think about the first 4 games he was inactive. What was it? The first 4 games he was inactive. They're just trying to. I don't know. I guess they're just bringing him along slowly.
Get near Dak Prescott, and we've already said this team, they don't blitz. They play a lot of 3 safety looks at a time. They have Jalen Thompson, a hell of a kid playing in the nickel, number 34, but he is technically a safety. So you know they're going to play a lot of zone. They don't want to have him in there playing a lot of man-to-man against some of these crafty receivers that have 3-way goes.
805, now come on, man. Dak is at the crib. Man, Dak balling tonight. Now, Dak balling tonight, unless a lot of people don't realize, man, Arizona Cardinals spend a lot of money. Arizona Cardinals spend a lot of money on defense. So we'll see what they do tonight. Yeah, Mose Logan and I will not be surprised. Where's my sister Lisa Worley? I will not be surprised if this is Jalen Tolbert's last night. But I'll tell you this. I think Jalen Tolbert, while he doesn't want to leave the Cowboys, I think he wants to leave the Dallas Cowboys. I think he wants to leave the Dallas Cowboys. Because I don't think Jalen Tolbert is bad. Some of this stuff, we got to understand. Some of this stuff is flat out Brian Schottenheimer has a certain way he wants to run this offense, and some of these players don't fit. Tolbert, if you're in this kind of ironic, Tolbert missed the block against the Commanders of where Jaden Blue had a really big run. Mozzie Smith, of course, we already know what that is. But Jaden Blue, Jaden Blue, he's not the type of back that Shotty wants, but I don't think he's going to get out of here. But Tolbert, he probably wants to leave because as long as Pickens is here, Mingo is here, the emergence of Ryan Flanoy, who I think needs to be the third. I don't even want any more alternating with Kevontae Turpin. He ought to be the third wide receiver, period, end of story. Where Turpin has speed, Turpin is not a traditional wide receiver. He doesn't function well to me, as everything I've seen. He doesn't function well as a traditional wide receiver. He functions better when you use him as that gadget guy. He functions better when you intently use him for specific plays. Cowboys have just made him boring by just lining him up out there, the third receiver.
Man. So when you play a lot of zone, you don't get a lot of pressure. Dak Prescott, he might open a case of whoop-ass, man. It might be a long day for you. They have got to hit Prescott. I told you that early. When he's been hit and sacked, he's not as effective, and Arizona's got to find a way to blitz more or get more pressure. That's why I think Nick Rawls, I'll be shocked if he doesn't heat up Prescott more than he has anybody else. The whole defense really has been set up around their 7-time Pro Bowl safety, Budda Baker, number 3. Whether you like football or love football, do yourself a favor and watch number 3. Just zoom in on him with your eyes for a few plays. Every single play is exactly the same. He never misses a snap. He's 100 miles an hour. He's totally invested in this defense, and he plays his ass off. He's a great communicator. He's doing a nice job. They try to determine the situation, the formation.
Big Rombowski, I think Tolbert may be the exception. He may be the exception, Big Rombowski. They may be dressing Tolbert with, just as to not tip a hand. You can't have everybody not playing, because that will tip a hand. I got a feeling that Tolbert could be one of those players. I've heard his name. Some people were talking about it today on the show, and they said Tolbert has now come up twice. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Rich Lloyd. Appreciate you in the chat, too. Yeah, Davion said Blue got to take the bull by the horns. Blue Star, what up? Roderick Vincent said bad recipe, run ball heavy. We will score less, therefore lose more games. We need 10 personal air raids, score 40. Well, I think what they want to do tonight, Roderick, because Shotty, let me tell you, he's an ex-quarterback. I'm just telling y'all ain't got to worry about Shotty going no 50-50 run. Forget about it. He ain't doing it. He's an ex-quarterback just like Kellen Moore. The only thing that Brian Schottenheimer wants to use the run for is to set up play action for Dak Prescott. And in the process, he wants to break some runs. He wants to get some big runs. He wants to loosen up the defense. He wants to get them afraid or a little bit concerned about the run so he can get his play action on and get his quarterback being to be. Because I'm telling you, Brian Schottenheimer is an ex-quarterback. He's an ex-quarterback. He's going to throw the ball. Y'all don't you worry. Cowboys are still going to put up points.
The personnel grouping, where they think the ball is going. What do we call to get Budda Baker in position to make the most plays? And I think it's really important to keep an eye on that if you're the Dallas Cowboys. They are going to bring Budda Baker, if they bring anybody on a blitz, it's going to be number 3. And he's a hell of a primetime player. I love him. Last thing with Coach Rawls, he's a very young defensive coordinator. And I've been really impressed with the progress he's made year by year, the improvements in this Arizona defense. Yes, they have to address the fourth quarter, but he's got some stuff in his history that's pretty cool. Against Dallas in 2023, Arizona ran this amoeba defense, I called it. You know what an amoeba is? It's like an organism with no cells. I don't know what it is. But they had these guys just walking around. They had like 4 or 5 guys walking around the center, walking around here, walking around in the secondary. Boom, the ball be snapped. 3'd come over there, 1 come over there. And they confused Dallas a couple times early. I look for some confusion fronts from Coach Rawls against this young offensive line of the Cowboys because they have had some injuries. Cooper Beebe's been out 6 weeks.
Yep, and Dallas just going to run against it. And that's how the Dallas going to try to shut a lot of that down.
Let's do some things to screw up the young center who's just coming back. Who's the Mike? Shit, I don't know. It looked like an amoeba. All right, let's talk about the personnel matchups. The Dallas Cowboy offensive line, I give them credit.
Now, Lloyd, you make a great point, and this is where I'm wondering, will Dak Prescott take those yes-nos to Pickens down the sideline? Because I want the Cowboys to stop being concerned about the balance between CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. They need to take whatever one of those wide receivers that the defense is giving you. If the defense going to give you Pickens one-on-one, you hit Pickens. If the defense going to give you CeeDee Lamb one-on-one, you hit CeeDee Lamb. Whatever the defense tries to shift to, then you shift away from. We got to stop trying to get Pickens 10 catches and Lamb 10 catches or 12 catches. No, whatever the defense allows, we're going to take it. And again, they play that quarters. Rich Lord, did you hear about that discussion this week about these quarters? Mina Kimes came out and talking about going over the top on quarters, and everybody knows that quarters is designed for you not to go over the top. Quarters, you have to take the underneath stuff. You gotta make them come out of those quarters. You take the underneath stuff. You try to run on it. You try to make them do some different things. But anyway, we'll see what happens if. And Brian Schottenheimer, I think he's got to do a better job of designing some of these wide receivers open and just stop and don't get like how Mike McCarthy was and just, we're just going to run whatever we run. And, we're going to run whatever we run. Like Mike McCarthy would run the receivers into the defenders and then they would do a comeback route or out route or in. I mean, come on. We gotta get a little bit more creative because teams are watching film on us. Point blank. Yeah, Tolbert is in uniform. Don't mean he playing, though. But we'll see tonight.
They're in the top 10 in every major category. They've only given up 10 sacks. The sack percentage, the pressure rate, they're in the top 10. And their yards per game rushing the football, they're all in the top 10 in every major category. The 4 guys from right guard to left tackle have all missed time. That's why they've done a hell of a job keeping things operating under these adverse circumstances. Tyler Guyton at left tackle, Tyler Smith at left guard, first-round draft choices. The left guard, Smith, is outstanding. He's a hell of a player. He can do a lot of different things. Guyton is getting confidence. He's on the rise. He's getting better in one-on-one pass protection. He can really recover, and when they help him, he's doing a pretty good job. It's just when you help him on the outside, he can't overset and get beat inside like he did last week against Denver. But I like the progress. Cooper Beebe, he's a work in progress, but he's a second-year player out of Kansas State. He's coming off a 6-game absence. And Brock Hoffman, number 67, really played well. So it's a real positive to have 2 centers with a veteran quarterback like Prescott. Really like their first-round pick, Tyler Booker, 52, out of Alabama. He has a playing style I love. How many guys would love to put on all these pads and go blasting into people? This guy loves it, man. He has a great energy about him, perfect temperament to be a right guard for the Dallas Cowboys. And Terrence Steele, he's the only guy on the front that has started every single game. So it's a good offensive line that's playing really good together. And if they can play great, like some of these former Dallas Cowboy offensive linemen, their quarterback will shred you. That's really important. For the defensive line of Arizona, there's so many names up here. I don't know how I ever go out to go golf anymore. My wife is like, hey, you got to play golf with your friends? I'm like, shit, I got to watch Arizona to see who's playing. Josh Sweat is the man. Came over from Philly. He's got 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles.
He's going to be a problem tonight.
He has more pressure than anybody on Arizona's team.
Yeah, he'll be a problem
tonight. He's going to rush over here against Steele. So if you're sitting at home, that's the matchup that would really bother me if I was Dallas, because I think Sweat has an arsenal of moves, and if they can get Dallas behind in the chains, he can ruin the game. They got to get help on Josh Sweat. On the other side, it's going to be a combination of guys. I see Baron Browning playing about 50% of the time. He's number 5. He's an outside linebacker in their base defense, and he has some production. He's intercepted a pass. He's got a couple sacks, but they use Zaven Collins, number 25, former linebacker, if you remember, at Tulsa, number 1 pick. He's kind of a guy looking for a home, man. I've seen him play over the guard. He's played outside linebacker, inside linebacker. Zaven Collins, 17 tackles and a sack, and Baron Browning are going to switch it up over here against Tyler Guyton on the left side. And inside, the player you got to see is Calais freaking Campbell. He's number 93. He's 39 years old. He's in his 18th season. Calais Campbell, he's only playing 50% of the snaps. But which inside pass rusher has the most pressures, Jake? Calais Campbell. I mean, the guy's unbelievable. He's got 3 sacks. He's hit the quarterback more than anybody on the Cardinals, and he's got 5 tackles for loss. He came off the ball against Green Bay and made a TFL on the backside. He looked like Calais Campbell from 90. Maybe that was a little early. He looked like Calais Campbell when he was young. Dalvin Tomlinson, 94 is the nose. He's not much of a pass rusher, but he's still a good run defender. You'll see Dante Stills. He's got 10 tackles and a sack, number 55. I want to know where Darius Robinson is, number 56. He's a first-round pick. Come on, Darius. Let's go, man. It's the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football. And where in the heck is this Walter Nolan at? He's missed the whole season. He's had a calf. I'm hearing he's going to play. We need Nolan and Robinson to go inside with Calais Campbell and raise hell so guys like Josh Sweat, Zaven Collins, and Baron Browning can go to work. It's going to take a hell of an effort to get to Prescott, knock him off the spot. The running back for the Cowboys, we talked about Javonte Williams and the production that he has had. Remember this, though. They're missing Miles Sanders, who got hurt. He was the backup running back who had done a real nice job. The secondary back is number 23, Jaden Blue, out of Texas. He hasn't gotten started yet. 22 carries, 65 yards. That's under 3 yards a pop. Both of these backs, I think, better be ready for number 3, blitzing off the edge somewhere, Budda Baker. They got to pick up blitzes. They got to be a big part of the help system. Their pass protection, as I said at the start of this, is as important as their production with the football. They also use a fullback, number 40, Hunter Lipke. You'll see him in there, some short yardage, goal line situations. Mike McCarthy even used him as a third down back last year. Hunter Lipke, number 40, old school. Remember Moose Johnson playing in front of Emmett? Sometimes I have flashbacks watching these 2-back sets. The linebackers for Arizona, they're led by number 2, Mack Wilson. This guy comes over in free agency. I don't think I've ever seen him leave the field. He leads the Arizona Cardinals in tackles. He's missed a few tackles, but son of a bitch, the guy's got to be tired, man. He goes 100 miles an hour. He's got 6 PBUs, man. So he is a factor in zone coverage, keying the quarterback, break and drive kind of linebacker. He'll spike you in the ground, man. 53 tackles. He loves playing football. And the ex-Cincinnati Bengal, Akeem Davis Gaither, has come over and done a nice job. Now, he only plays about 70% of the plays. They do use some dime defense where just Mack Wilson will play by himself. But Akeem Davis Gaither, shit, I bet the Bengals are wondering why the hell did we let him out of here? He's wearing number 27, and those are 2 pretty good linebackers that can play in some of these open formations like 11 personnel that Brian Schottenheimer uses. You will also see Darren Hall. I saw him, number 30. He comes in as an extra linebacker. He's a DB, but when they want to get more speed on the field, they'll leave Mack Wilson in the game. They'll bring in 30 Darren Hall as a dime linebacker to match up better with tight ends and backs coming out of the backfield. The matchups on the outside will be critical. It'll be interesting to see their left corner, Will Johnson, number 0. He's the guy from Michigan who fell into the second round. Everybody was up in arms. He didn't run at the combine, whatever. He is a good young player. He wears number 0. You know how much I like that, don't you? I hate that number, but I like this player. He missed a couple games with the groin. He's got a couple passes broken up. He shows good patience. He's been a good wrap-up tackler, and he's avoided the big plays, which is pretty good for a young guy. But keep an eye on the rookie because he's going to see a couple guys that are really fucking good, man. I mean, how would you like to be a rookie corner? I don't care who you are. And you run out there, here comes CeeDee Lamb, number 88. Lamb is healthy. He's had 4 healthy games. 110, 112, 110, and 74 yards. He just needs 8 catches. This is how good he's been in 86 games. 8 more catches for CeeDee Lamb, and he passes Dez Bryant as the number 3 all-time receiver in Cowboy history. Can you name the top 2? Of course, Jason Witten and the playmaker, Michael Irvin. Whew. Man, I love Michael Irvin. Anyways, to be in that category this fast tells you how good he is. He is unbelievable after the catch. He is built like a running back. He's got great stamina, and they're going to line him up everywhere, but keep an eye on number 0. I would love to see Will Johnson meet the challenge, man. This is when you make a name for yourself, Monday Night Football against receivers like this. On the other side, I can't say enough about this George Pickens. If I had to take one receiver right now, I'd probably take Pickens.
Yes.
You know, they gave up a third-round draft choice to get George Pickens.
Yes.
I tried the same thing with the Steelers. I gave up a third-round pick for Martavis Bryant. Wah, wah, wah. Didn't work out. Then I wanted to have Antonio Brown in a worse way. I gave up a third-round pick for him, too. He didn't like me either. It didn't work out. But the doggone Cowboys, they get Pickens for a third-round pick. He's got 43 catches, man, for 685 yards and 6 touchdowns. He's running all kind of routes. It's not just a 50-50 guy. He runs a slant route against Carolina, plucks it like, boom, gone, touchdown. I love the way he's playing. I said earlier, Prescott leads the league in tight window passes. Who do you think is the #1 tight window receiver in all of football, Jake? George Pickens. I mean, you could throw that ball over his head, down on the ground. He has hands like this, like suction cups. Is that a good analogy? Or a vacuum cleaner? And this guy's hands are unbelievable. He catches this sumbitch better than anybody I've ever seen. I love him. He's wearing number 3.
I told y'all, man,
when he
Pickens
lines
is
up
a monster.
over here, he's going to see number 16, Max Melton. Max Melton, a young corner out of Rutgers. I've seen this guy, Clark, number 13. But you can see why Arizona's playing a lot of zone, maybe some cover too. Because if it becomes a single high defense and I'm Dak Prescott, I'm looking for the rookie Johnson and I'm looking over here for Max Melton. And I'm going to find out about these guys. And it's a real cool operation Dallas has. The slot receiver for the Cowboys will...
Hey, Travis. Man, you know what? I don't get to watch content creators like I used to. I used to watch Mark a lot. And I don't know where he's getting this stuff about Crosby, but I can just tell you this much. I'm not surprised. If it doesn't happen, I'm not surprised. But y'all have been hearing me say for the last week, I believe Max Crosby is who the Cowboys have pinpointed. He just makes the most sense. I think they're swinging big for Max Crosby. I really do. Yeah, I think they're swinging big for Max Crosby. I do. I don't know if they're going to get him, but I think the Cowboys are swinging big for Max Crosby. And I think that's who they want. I think they're swinging big. So I don't know if he's actually, I'm going to see if I can find anything on it. Let's listen to, Poobie D. Again, Brian Schottenheimer told us this much. He flat out told us without telling us. He told us that they were basically bringing, I'm going with consistency, Javonte Williams, Malik Davis, how well he's been, I guess he's talking about practice. It was obvious that he was going to bring up Malik Davis. It was obvious he's going to bring up Malik Davis because at the end of the day, Jaden Blue doesn't fit what Brian Schottenheimer wants to do. Yeah, the 70s fan, make sure you send the score. Send the score. I'm giving the 5 people who get the score right. 5 people who get the score right getting Dallas Cowboys t-shirts. Not some t-shirts I'm making either. I'm going to the Dallas Cowboys website and I'm going to get 5 nice Dallas Cowboys t-shirts. We still got to give away the George Pickens jersey. I'm going to figure out when we're going to do that, but we got to give away the George Pickens jersey. Queen, I'm with you, G, and for Jerry to keep his mouth shut, got to be Max. Queen, I'm telling, it just makes the most sense to me. It just makes the most sense. I won't be surprised if they don't get Max Crosby. I won't be surprised if they do, because I've been saying all along, I think that's who the Cowboys want, and that's who they've been wanting from the beginning. He was one of the first people to get signed of the edge rushers, and if the Cowboys could get Max Crosby what if they get him for a first and a second? What if they get him for a first and a second? and the contract is pretty much done. Shh. Man, let me tell you, it's a win-win. It's a long way around to do it, but it is definitely a win-win.
Bells. Who's it going to be? Kavontae Turpin is back. He's a Pro Bowl kick returner. Talk about fast. He's like a light switch. He goes over there on a jet sweep. Turpin, he's got 13 catches, 174 yards. They've handed it to him 6 times. And how about this number 1 guy, Jalen Tolbert? Last week against Denver at the end of the game, a lot of you guys quit on the game. You probably went out, got some dinner. Tolbert, boom, touchdown against Riley Moss on a go ball. That guy's got 14 for 172. And over here, this Flournoy kid, he's got 14 for 182. They got 3 backup receivers that could be starting for a lot of teams, man. And that's no shit. I mean, they got a lot of depth, and they really keep coming at you. So when CD comes out of the game, you're like, thank God he's out. They bring in one of these guys, and it's like, whoo, man, it's a really high-impact offense. They got a lot of good skill. The tight end for the Cowboys, they use 3 of them. When they throw the ball, they throw it to Jake Ferguson. What a year he's had. You can see why they gave him the big contract in training camp. 51 grabs, only 334, 6.6 yards a catch, but he has 6 touchdowns. What happens is you get all this zone. All these people are playing on top of CD and Pickens, and here's Ferguson, 6, 8, 9, 5, 7, 6 touchdowns. What a pain in the ass Ferguson is. Prescott did have an interception thrown at the Ferguson last week against Denver, cover 2 man. I thought Ferguson could have shook that guy off a little bit more, but he's been really, really good. They use this Brevin Spanford guy, number 88. Brevin Spanford. I love that name. He's 87. He comes in, does a lot of dirty work in the running game, man. Whamming guys, pulling on counters, at the point of attack, sifting across. The guy's a good run player. And then they got Schoonamaker. How about that name? Schoonamaker. He had a big catch in the red zone last week. Schoonamaker has 7 grabs. Spanford has 3. It's not like they don't use him in the passing game. And for the 2 safeties, Arizona's got a couple guys playing well. Don't lose sight of Taylor Demerson, number 42. This guy's a good young player, man. Taylor Demerson. He's got 2 interceptions. He's got 33 tackles. Most of the time, he plays in the post. He plays deep. And that allows Buda Baker to shake and bake down low around the line of scrimmage. So Taylor Demerson has been pretty reliable deep. He's got some range and ball skills. And Buda Baker's a guy they like to bring around to get in the action in the briar patch. But both of those safeties will have a lot to do with negating Ferguson in the passing game. Arizona's going to have their hands full, and they're going to have to play their ass off. Hopefully Garrett Williams and Walter Nolan can come back and help, because Arizona's in for a real workout. You know, I get tired sometimes hearing these offensive coordinators.
All right, I'm wondering about, I'm not really understanding where they're saying that the thing about Max Crosby being at the Meacham Fort Worth airport is. I'm not sure where they're getting that from. Yeah, I'm not sure where they're getting that from. I did just see this reported 45 minutes ago over here on X. It looks like developing story. Mozzie Smith inactive tonight. Mozzie Smith inactive. Jordan Schultz healthy inactive tonight. He's being viewed around the NFL as a player available for the trade deadline. I've heard Mozzie's name come up at least 3 times. I have no clue where the Max Crosby at the airport thing is. I also see where AOC is saying that maybe it's Buda Baker, while the Cowboys aren't saying anything until tomorrow, that maybe the Cowboys are bringing in Buda Baker. Okay. All right. Freddie Morales said Kyler Murray inactive tonight. Okay. Titans are trading Draymond Jones to the Ravens. Man, I'm telling us, though, the Cowboys are, I got to give it to them. Cowboys are being so quiet, it's insane. A lot of people are saying, of course, it's Minkah Fitzpatrick. I've been seeing that all over the place. Yeah, I don't know where Mark Jones is getting the thing about Max Crosby. I'm lost on that one.
Get thrown under the bus by their own team. I mean, I remember.
All right, so hold on just a second. Let's see here. Because I know we're not I want to get the prediction from Jon Gruden. Let's see.
He's a strong safety blitzer. You got to be able to and win for the fourth straight time. Arizona 37, Dallas 35. Agree, sport, if you're with me. Take the over on McBride is what I'm now with a knee or a concussion. He's poking the ball out. We got to have a bigger factor grade from Clark and Odighizuwa.
All right, so I just heard, I don't know if you heard what Jon Gruden is predicting tonight, but this is crazy. Check this out.
You'll see 90 Solomon Thomas. You'll see this rookie from UCLA. Hell's bells. You'll see a lot of different guys coming and going. But the key is we got to get a couple of these guys to consistently be part of our future. And I'm hoping it's Ezaraku, and I'm hoping to see more of Houston. The offensive line for Arizona, they've been intact pretty much the whole season. Paris Johnson at left tackle. He missed a game earlier in the year, but he's healthy. He gave up a sack to Parsons in a one-on-one situation. I think he's got to do a better job on the second level in the running game. You got Adams, Froholt, and Brown. The interior three have been together playing for some time. And at right tackle, Jonah Williams. Just help the man out a little bit in pass protection. But these guys, I think, need a meeting the night before the game. Let's put the AC/DC hat on, man. Let's come off the ball. Let's kick some freaking ass, man. They got to get these young running backs, Bam Knight, and this guy over here, DeMercado. He's the guy that was running for the touchdown. He got stripped against Tennessee. Guy has some playmaking. Show some confidence. Give these guys some good looks. And let's pass protect our ass off. The matchups on the outside are very concerning to me if I'm a Dallas Cowboy. Right now, with the injuries and all the stuff that they've had happen, remember, Trevon Dickey's got 35 tackles. I love him in the slot. Bland's got to play better too. I mean, this guy's got the new contract. He's one of the key figures in this Cowboy secondary for years to come. When Bland goes into the nickel spot, they're bringing in the rookie, Taquez, every play. Trey McBride. You have to assume with 67 targets, that's kind of what Dallas needs to do. So they got to be ready to pick up some blitzes. Kenneth Murray, who came over from Tennessee, leads the Cowboys. If it's cover two, I'm convinced Dak Prescott will check to a running play. But if it's a single high defense, he'll work away from rotation and throw the stick or the hitch. But if you're like Washington and you come up and play man-to-man, what happens to the hitch route against man-to-man coverage, Jake? They're gone. And CeeDee Lamb, and I'm telling you, this guy Pickens, stitch. It's just a quick little play with hitches on the outside. Be careful if you play man-to-man, bump and run, because the hitches convert to fly routes. And if you play cover two, you're going to see a little bit more Javonte Williams. Pretty cool what they let Prescott do. This is a tough one. You got to pick somebody. Both.
Listen to the prediction of Jon Gruden.
These teams need a win. Dallas playing at home. We know they're going to score a lot of points. They're exciting. But I'm going to go with Jonathan Gannon and the Arizona Cardinals. They're going to wake up off this bye week. They're going to come into Dallas and win for the fourth straight time. Arizona 37, Dallas 35.
Jon Gruden believes the Cardinals are going to beat the Cowboys. I believe he's absolutely wrong. I don't think the Cardinals can score 40 points. The only way the Cardinals beat the Cowboys is that they stop the Cowboys from scoring and they hold them to around 27 points. It's the only way they can do it. I don't see it happening. If it was on the road, I could see them having a chance, but I don't think it's going to happen. Now, let me go back and read some. Somebody was saying, okay, let me put these two statements together. Now, I was saying I don't know where Mark Holmes got the information about Max Crosby being in Fort Worth, but Truth 1283 said, check Stephen Jones' interview he just did. What does that mean? I think it's a linebacker. Now, if you're saying that Stephen Jones alluded to it being a linebacker, I would agree, and I think Jerry alluded to it also. Even Lloyd is saying that, but I don't know where Mark Holmes got. I've been searching to see where Max Crosby was anywhere near Dallas, and I haven't seen it. Okay, J-Dog saying that Mark is telling the airport story. Okay. Well, I'm not going to doubt it. I just hadn't seen it. I just wanted to know where he got it from. Yeah, I just wanted to see where he got it from so I could pull up the source. But maybe he's got a source and says it is. So we're going to see. Yeah, man, let me tell you, Harrison has struggled this year, Poobie D. But it's the Cowboys defense, man. It's the Cowboys defense. Yeah, Lock and D, Cowboys are going to own tomorrow. There is no doubt about it. Jon Gruden says Cowboys are going to lose. I'm not buying it. I am not buying the Cowboys are losing. Going back again to where I was. These are my thoughts for the game. And now I'm even more convinced. The Cowboys will reestablish the run this week. This is why they're bringing up Malik Davis. They're bringing up Malik Davis because the Denver Broncos stopped them from running the ball last week. This is why they're bringing up Malik Davis. I believe the Cowboys are going to score 40 points again. I think it's the way they win it. Because their defense, man, they can't depend on this defense. Cowboys are going to score 40. I expect George Pickens to have a big night tonight. A big night tonight. Kyler Murray is not playing, so don't have to worry about that now. Kyler Murray's not. Well, they say, okay, he's inactive. Y'all said he was actually inactive. Cowboys defense, I got a feeling they're going to play better tonight. For whatever reason, and maybe it's just me hoping, but I think they're going to play better. Cowboys are at home. They're going to play very confident. They're going to play physical. This is a must-win game tonight. Rich Lloyd, I agree. Man and blitz 20 times. Yes. David Everett. If the Cowboys lose tonight, I only make one major trade, and that trade has got to be somebody that is going to be a part of the Cowboys for the next 3 years. Hey, Poobie D, I put this on here. Let's see. Let me go back. Poobie D, I already got McBride on here, man. Let me see where I got it at. Yeah, I already had that McBride dude on here. Cowboys got to stop McBride, man. Yeah, they got to stop McBride. I think I talked about it early this week. I can't remember where I had it at. But they got to stop McBride, man. McBride is an absolute beast. I think it's right here. Key matchups, Lamb and Pickens against Arizona secondary. Eberflus, we don't have to worry about Kyler Murray. Bland versus Harrison, Cowboys defensive backs against, there it is, Trey McBride. Trey McBride. It's going to be tough. Yeah, he's a monster. He's a monster. I still contend the Cowboys are going to win this game 41-27. If things don't go right, the Cowboys, I believe, lose 30-27. Because the way to beat the Cowboys is to keep them at 27 and below. But I think the Cowboys will score 41 points tonight. They've scored 40 points at home. So this is where I am. All right, y'all make sure y'all send those scores to Let's Talk Cowboys, gbj@gmail.com. And I'm going to pick 5 people. The 5 people that get the score right, they're going to get that Dallas Cowboys official swag. Man, I appreciate y'all rocking with me. Appreciate all of the super chats. It's time to go watch the Cowboys. Get that food ready. Cowboys winning tonight. And I'll see y'all after the game for the post-game show. And then I'll see, tonight, post-game show. Maybe Jerry even drop it on us tonight after the post-game show. Let's go. Cowboys, 41-27.